When you think of Aliyah Burston, the first word that came to your mind might be dominant, polished, steady. But after Indiana clinched their playoff spot, the star center did not just let her play through the talking. She dropped words that hit just as hard as a round bones. A reporter asked her if she was feeling a little spicy this season. Burston Clark, a smile, shook her head and laughed. I like spicy, but I don't think I'm spicy. I just do whatever the team needs. If that looks like spice, fine, but I'm just here to be dominant. Dominant? The word summed up both her performance and her leadership because the Indiana Fever did not just sneak into the playoffs, they stormed their way in with a statement win. Despite losing Clinch and four other key players along the way, this wasn't just basketball, it was survivor, it was defense, and in the middle of it all, Boston gave the locker room a mantra that fans are still echoing online. So how did Indiana lose half their roster, silence every critic, and clinch their first back-to-back playoff appearances in nearly a decade? And why are Boston Fairy words shaping the entire team's identity heading into the postseason? Stick around because the story flips the streak on everything we thought we knew about the Fever. At the start of the year, Indiana was supposed to be building around Clinch, the sophomore sensation who had Fever fans back in Green Beach, filled house night after night. Clark was averaging over 16 points a game, dazzling crowds with her playmaking and putting Indiana right on track for the postseason. But then disaster. Clark turned aground after only 13 games, and just like that, the face of the franchise was gone. The injury did not just turn Indiana, it shocked the entire league. Analysts lined up to say the Fever playoff hopes were finished. And it wasn't just like Sophie Cunningham went down with a new injury. Cole Boy, also new injury, Sandy Lawson sidelined. Harry MC Donald out of the season with a foot injury. In total, 5 contributors vanished from the rotation. By mid-season, Indiana had suited up 18 different players. It looked less like a basketball team and more like a resolving door of survivor contract. For most franchises, that is where the season collapses. But for Indiana, it became their test. Head coach Tiviana White did not panic. She did not rush the reset button. Instead, she simplified the streamlined rotation, leaned into grit, and reminded her players that toughness was now their greatest weapon. Her words to the team were simple: you can let this break you apart, or you can let it push you together. And slowly but surely, the Fever started choosing the second option. What began as next human up out of necessity became the very identity of the team. Every player who stepped into the rotation knew a role mattered, and when their mid-set carried into Washington on a must-win night, it exploded with dominance. The Fever faced the Washington Magic with everything on the line. No Clark, no Cunningham, no MC Donald. The deck stacked against them. The half-team, tense Washington, came out strong, trading buckets and forcing Indiana into awkward looks. You could feel the nervous energy in the air. Was this where the Cinderella's run in finally unraveled? Then came the third quarter. Indiana locked in defensively in a way that did not just slow the Mystics, it suffocated them. Washington scored only 9 points the entire quarter. 9? That is not a cold streak. That is complete shutdown basketball. Passing lines scored. Shots smothered, every possession contested. And once Indiana flipped the switch, the never goal. The lead ballon past 20, past 25, and its peak hit a 33-point margin. Final score, Fever 95, Mystic 65, just a win, a message to the league. After the win, the Fever room was buzzing, music blasting, laughter echoing, TikTok videos already been planned. But when Burston gathered her teammates, she did not just celebrate, she reminded them why they were here. Her words, never doubt yourself and what you're capable of. Simple, powerful, and exactly what this team had lived through all year. The line instantly became the rallying cry. Fans flooded social media quoting her. Teammates noted like it was gospel. Bursting had just given voice to the very identified they are forgone through injuries, doubt, and adversity. And here is the thing, it wasn't empty talk. You could see it in the way Laxil all threw herself on the floor for possessions, in the way Perty drained close trees, and the way Paris played like a minute with oxygen. Bursting words wasn't just spoken, they were lived. The win meant more than a playoff breath. It meant validation. For the first time since 2015 and 2016, Indiana clinched back-to-back postseason appearances that nearly a decade of fertility erased in one statement night. What stood out even more was the culture. When Burstyn was asked about the locker room vibes afterwards, she laughed and said, "Well, we did not just make a TikTok, then quickly pivoted. Everyone is excited, but we know the job isn't finished." That balance, joy mixed with focus, showed exactly why she's become the anchor of the franchise. Celebrate the little moment, yes, but never lose sight of the grind ahead. The FIFA aren't walking into an easy bracket. Round 1 match-up could mean Atlanta, Las Vegas, or Phoenix, all dangerous. And with the best of 3 formats, 2 of those games will be on the road. But here is the twist. Indiana has already shown they can hang with all 3 of those teams. Even short-handed, they have taken games off each. And now they bring something scary into the playoffs. Believe, and let's not forget Grand Bridge Field House. The FIFA are guaranteed at least one home playoff game, the first in nearly a decade for a fan base that is waited this long. The atmosphere is going to be electric. Think about it. 18 different players suited up this season, 5 co-contributors went down. The superstar was lost in June, and yet here they are, 7th seeds locked in with a chance to climb even higher. The season that was supposed to be a disaster became the perfect foundation. Sophie Cunningham, Harry MC Donald, and others were forced to step into new roles before injuries. Natasha Howard and Harry Pass emerged as veteran anchors. Kirsten Mitchell and Aliyah bursting green playoff experience as top options, not side pieces. And here is the kicker: Kathleen Clark returns next season to a locker room that already has playoff DNA. Instead of a team built around one star, Indiana now has a battle-tested group that knows how to win without her. The injuries looked like a curse, but in hindsight, they may have been the best thing to ever happen to the Fever. Aliyah Burston did not mince words. She told her teammates never to doubt themselves, and the Fever proved exactly why the mantra matters. From outbreak to a 29-point playoff reaching blowout, Indiana flipped the script on their entire season. And now the question is, can they survive without Kathleen Clark? The question is, if this is what they can do half strength, what happens when they finally hold again? If you are fired up for the playoffs, comment FIFA playoffs down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. The FIFA are back in the postseason, and the rest of the WNBA should be scared.